Welcome back to 96.3, your Kentucky Bluegrass radio station. Today we're talking about the dangers of drinking and driving. You'll be hearing stories from victims and victims' families. To start off, I'd like to tell you a few stories that I found to be very moving and hope to have a strong impact on others. Jacqueline Saburito was taking a break from college when she came to the United States to study English. She had been in Texas for less than a month when a crash occurred that changed her life completely. The drunk driver who hit her got 7 years. Jacqueline got life. Natalia Bennett and 4 others were headed home from a birthday party in Austin, Texas. Her front seat passenger was Jacqueline. It was a little past 4 in the morning on Sunday, September 19th, 1999. Reggie Stevie, who was 18 at the time, was also on his way home. He had been drinking. Less than a mile from his driveway, Reggie drifted across the center strip and hit Natalia's car head-on. Natalia Bennett and Laura Guerrero died at the scene. Jackie suffered third-degree burns over 60% of her body after the car caught fire. Here is a piece of the 911 call Reggie made after the crash occurred.
It doesn't look good.
Okay.
People look pretty bad.
Okay. Okay. I hear you, Reggie.
You what?
I hear you.
Okay.
So it was just an accident, okay? Okay?
I could have done something. I didn't need to swerve out of the way.
Well, it could have been
I would have
worse.
compensated back.
Reggie, it could have been worse if you hadn't swerved. Do you know what I'm saying? It could have been worse.
It could have been completely avoided.
Wow, that is truly touching. He even stated that it could have been avoided. The only thing Jackie remembers about their crash is the sound of the blades on the helicopter that came to rush her to the hospital. Extensive third-degree burns scorched her eyes and left her blind. It also melted off her hair, took her ears, lips, nose, and eyelids, and robbed her of the use of her hands. Doctors did not expect her to survive. The carefree, fun-filled life Jackie once knew as a teenager is gone forever. Her appearance and her ability to live independently went up in flames over a decade ago, along with her plans for a career and a family. She continues to be unsure of what her future holds. After sharing Jackie's heartbreaking story, I will now open up the phone lines for other victims to share their stories or anyone who may have a message for us about the dangers of drinking and driving. We have a caller on line 2, ready to share his story. Roll, thanks for calling.
Thank you for having me. I have a story of my own past experience that will hopefully change others' perspectives on the issue.
Okay, Roll, let's hear it.
On my way home one day, I got pulled over by a cop. He told me I had a burned out taillight, which I had known about, but I haven't gotten around to fix it yet. While he was talking to me, he must have noticed that I wasn't completely sober. He asked if I had been drinking, and I admitted that I had a couple beers earlier. After failing a couple tests he gave me, I was arrested for suspicion of DUI. I was booked at the police station and knew I screwed up. I almost lost my job once they found out I got a DUI arrest. I used to look at people who got DUIs as bad people, but now I know that they're mostly people who just made a mistake. I could definitely say that mistake never happened to me again.
Thank you for sharing your story, Roll.
No problem.
While we are waiting to connect our next caller, please sit still and listen to a little clip of music. Thank you for waiting patiently. We still have Roll on the line, but now we also have Derek on the phone to share his message. Good afternoon, Derek. Thanks for calling 96.3.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
What would you like to share with us today?
Well, I was calling because I heard Jackie and Raul's story about drinking and driving, and I have some information about something you guys may support.
Interesting. What might that be, Derek?
HB 61, which is a law in support of ignition interlocking systems in Kentucky. This would be used for first-time convicted DUI offenders. Right now in Kentucky, the interlocking systems are not required for first-time offenders. Only after the second offense do they have to use these systems. Studies have shown that ignition interlocking systems can decrease repeat offenses by 67%.
I know about the interlocking systems. I used to live in Arizona where the DUI happened and had to use the interlocking system. I had to blow into a breathalyzer before starting my car. I had to pay an installation fee and also a rental fee for the system. With this punishment being severe, it has made me think twice about drinking and driving.
Well, Raul, it seems that you would be in support of HB 61 to help fight drinking and driving as a rising issue to make roadways safer.
I know that I made a mistake, but hopefully with me sharing my story today, it will encourage others not to make the same mistake as I did. Although I didn't affect anyone firsthand from my mistake, anything can happen, and someone might not be as lucky as I was. I do support HB 61.
Well, good, Raul. The more people that we get to support HB 61, the better, or safer our roadways will become. This has been shown in several other states that have passed laws for ignition interlocking systems. A decrease of around 30% of drinking and driving accidents have been recorded in most of these 20 states.
It sounds like HB 61 is a law that we definitely need to spread the word about for everyone here in Kentucky. Your all stories and information have hopefully impacted our listeners today. It has been a very interesting conversation between us three, but unfortunately it's time to go. Thank you too for calling in to 96.3 today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on the show.
For more information on HB 61, log on to mad.org to see what legal actions you can take. I'd like to say thank you again to Rollo and Derek, and also to my listeners. See you again next Tuesday night here on 96.3, your Kentucky Bluegrass radio station.